We talk with Italian-born Giuseppe Mottalini about his shooting career before and after moving to Western Australia and what the new laws will mean for him. He's an IPSC shooter who's going to lose guns and probably have to get a new safe, and why he's going to the Pro Gun Rally on the 8th of February to make a stand against the new laws.
Ask not what your
Gun Club
can do for you. Ask what you can do for your
Gun Club.
Welcome to the Go News Australia podcast. It's the podcast for Australian shooters who just want the political interference taken out of shooting.
And welcome to another episode of Gun News Australia, brought to you by Politics Reloaded and Gun Traders Australia. And I have Giuseppe Mottalini from WA with me. How you doing, Giuseppe?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you, Neil.
Well, thanks for joining me. Now, we've covered the Western Australia Gun Rally quite a bit, and obviously we're going to be continuing to cover that in the lead up to the election, because it's not only critical for WA shooters like yourself, but for what we could see happen in other states. So my apologies to people who are outside WA for giving this such heavy coverage, but I think your story is quite an important one because it helps add a little bit of context around what the laws are going to do to shooters like yourself. So let's start your story. You're born in Italy.
Yes, I did.
You came to Australia in 2011.
Correct.
Okay. When you're in Italy, you described it as International Defence Pistol Association discipline.
Yes.
Can you just give us a rundown of what the IDPA does?
Well, it's a sport it's a sport association who the intention is to shoot defense pistol. So you go around simulating real life situation that you really hope never get involved into it. But yeah, it's time-based, is tactical. So you have a approach to the target and the way you cut angles and you change magazine. You don't drop it, you keep it. It's all done for in having in the as a final to improve your ability to defend yourself with a handgun. That's in Italy, yeah.
Yeah, not here.
No.
Unfortunately. So what sounds like what happened is you come over here for whatever reason and you try to pick up the next best thing, which is IPSC.
Well, yeah, I actually, to be honest, I joined a club. So I arrived in 2011. In 2012, I joined a gun club. IPSC is much more fun and it's more sport oriented and is definitely pushing you from a performance point of view, much more than IDPA. The IDPA's got rules, it's got stuff that really is taking a bit of the fun away, while IPSC is definitely more fun and really enjoyable to do.
I haven't done that myself. I've been to ranges where it's happened, and I think that's the beauty about shooting. It is such a diverse field of activity. You've got these disciplines. I mean, I do fairly static sort of target shooting, which is one of the Olympic disciplines. Yep. There's shotgun, which I can't do because it's a completely different technique. Yep. So it's not only diverse, but to cover, what you do is quite a range of skills, and then the transferability is quite a challenge.
So absolutely, I mean, it's pretty basic stuff for every gun club. There is a course that you start when you join. It's in our club is something like 6 to 8 months long, where you became holster proficient. There are very strict rules that are applied all the time. There are safe area. You can't handle your pistol outside the safe area or outside the actual stage. So I've been a member from 2012, and we never had an accident. There was maybe one ricochet because we shoot lead, obviously, not jacket, not hollow point, nothing like that. Is pure, just cheap lead bullets that go when they hit steel target that sometimes we shoot. It just disappear. So I think one guy got a little scratch from that in all the years and nothing more. So is compared to other sports, is a very safe one.
The only accident that I'm aware of during my time in what I shoot was that somebody tripped over a tent peg
Yeah.
because the tent was on, you stay at the range overnight. Okay, so with IPSC, what do you shoot with?
So mainly in Australia we shoot handguns. We get different division based on the type of gun. It's like a different car in the automobile competition. All the magazine in Australia are limited to 10 rounds. That really make a problem for like the open shooters. Then when they go international, they have to get used to a 32 rounds mag instead of a 10 one. So and again that's when I find out of this rule. Uh, Mag change is a very nice technical part of the shooting. So you kind of doing more of that. You from a sport point of view, you are happy, but then you are training yourself to change. After 9, 8, 9, 10 rounds, and when you end up in an international competition, you can be affected by that. It's all sport, of course. It's all performance. It's not. It's nothing that can really you can't live with it. But when you put money and time in training, and you maybe go overseas and you mess up a stage because you drop a magazine after 8 rounds, because that's your muscle memory, right? So yeah, I say handguns, and in WA it is still now possible to shoot shotgun in IPSC. And when I say shotgun, I mean semi-auto and pump action. I've got a couple of friends, they show up with a over and under as well. We are having fun. They are having fun anyway, but of course they are not competitive.
Okay, so you were saying before you were shooting with CZ 1911, the handgun side. You've got you mentioned the pump action, which is currently permissible. Obviously, the magazine limit. Yeah, I'm aware of that constraint, and it's kind of weird because the National Firearms Agreement was supposed to be around supporting supporting those sort of competitions, internationals, and doesn't.
No.
Now, so in terms of the laws that are coming into play in WA, how's it going to affect you?
Yeah, well, they already affect me. As a matter of fact, I had in mind I got in the back of my head to go back to long distance shooting. So I planned to buy a 308. But when I heard about probably a year and a half ago, about these rules of 5 coming in, I just stopped. I didn't buy it because I was scared that it may affect me. And as a matter of fact, it does. So right now I'm 5 or below. So all my safe storage will be grandfathered at this stage. But as a matter of fact, the law will froze my ability to do anything. If I break a gun, if I want to buy another one, selling one, I can't, because then the upgrade will be, well, right now it's impossible. There is no such a safe available on the market. I've seen a couple of 6 millimeter wall and 9 millimeter doors, and 9 is not 10, so it's not good. And we are already talking about 180, 200 kilo safe. So yeah, I'm good at the moment. I dodge a bullet just to remain in terms, but yeah.
So we're looking at loss of firearms because of the overall limit, but I also understand there's a limit in relation to handguns. Now, I'm not across the fine details, but somebody did say to me that there was a limit of 2 or something.
No, no, as far as I know, for what I can see, that's a bad news actually that you gave me. My understanding was 5 or less, and it takes all the guns. So that was my understanding. And so I'm good. And then of course I will lose my pump action shotgun. That's gone.
That's part of where I was going to. The handgun thing, I understand, might be the new regs that we just released around Christmas. I stand to be corrected on that. But either way, you're being hit, as many shooters are. And you mentioned the safes. Now, just for our interstate, particularly the interstate viewers, in Western Australia's got a system of licensing not only the user but the individual firearms themselves.
Correct.
And so, what the new storage requirements will be that if they'll grandfather the current storage that you've got only while you retain the current licenses. The moment you get a new license, that is, you replace one gun with another, even the same model, that's a different license. So that then means that you've got to go and get your new safe, which, as you said, we're looking at specifications that shooters just not going to be able to meet.
Well, at this stage, I'm sure we eventually will have some coming in for a couple of grand, but then even put them in place is, I mean, you need professional with a crane to get to move a 200 kilo safe, right? And then it's
and in fact, it's not just, it doesn't stop there. I've had advice from other people offline that part of the problem is some buildings, some residential buildings, as in I'm talking about 1 or 2 stories, their wooden floors may or may not. I mean, they might be okay with 200, but the stairs that you need to move these things up may not be rated for that sort of weight.
I don't know. Obviously, from my side, I just have to run it into the property, but yeah, it's a big one. Of course, if I stick to handguns, that's gonna be easier because you can buy a small one and keep the guns in there. So, but we're talking about little numbers anyway.
Yeah. It'll be obviously depend on the size of the safe, but the wall thickness and door thickness requirements will apply. It's just a matter of the size of the safe. Okay. So you've stepped in from the Italian environment into the Australian environment.
Yes.
What else? What other differences would you say exist between Italy and Australia, WA, in terms of gun laws, and also the way the government approaches this issue?
So there are a couple of I think the main one is we in Italy we have one sport license that that allow you to buy a certain number of sport gun. During my license time, they already limited the number. Before was as much as you want. Now I don't remember because it happens. I was already here. They went down to 6 or 10. Can't remember the number. You can have center fire rifle for sports. For hunting, it's quite common. You can have an AR-15. There is no problem about that. Limit the magazine, if I remember right, it must be limited to 29 for the AR. So and that's almost laughable for why they did that. I don't really know. Until a few years ago, the 9 Luger was not allowed, and all the guns in Italy were chambered in 9 EMI, that is 921. It doesn't really change much, except that all the guns, it was a problem for the building for the guns that you got. But right now they pass a law, so we move forward. That now 919 is actually available caliber, and the storage requirement in Italy, they have a way. Basically, the laws say you have to hold the gun to storage the gun based on the good father. So as far as they are not reachable for kids, you can put it wherever you want. In Italy, we also have the right to defend ourselves with the handguns. That obviously is a right you don't have in Australia. And I mean, I'm not sure if literally you don't have it, but as a matter of fact, the way you storage the gun here, there is no way you can have one out to defend yourself. And I usually say to my wife, here in Australia, it's not our guns that defend us, but we defend our guns. So we put them away so nobody can touch, and even you. So not that I ever want to do that, but there is no way you can have them ready if you do the right things.
And I think culturally, the difference between Italy and Australia is just so significant, as in terms of the government's attitude towards the shooting environment.
Absolutely. We have shooting national government shooting range in every place. There was the one where I start was in my valley was close, and it's a government supported structure. So it was there from before the First World War. So it was everybody. You go there and you shoot your guns. It's more of a static things. It's not where I did the IDPA or when you do IPSC, but it's a government body that give you the actual piece of paper that allow you to get the license. Yeah.
You talk about facilities, which is interesting because, okay, there's been some facilities built in Australia for very specific events, the Olympic Games and the like, but or upgraded. But culturally, it is so different in Australia. It's so adversarial. It's finding a friendly government is really in Australia is really hard.
Absolutely. I mean, they put some law in it that was from Europe. I remember I used to have a Glock 17 and I've got like 5 17 round magazine. I have to give them away and get the 15. Actually, I think I sold the gun back then. I didn't even get and that was because the limitation went down to 15 for European, I guess, Europe law. But yeah, no, there are body on the ground, physically structure. The one I have is it's got 100-meter line for rifle to be zeroed and they run competition, and you got the handguns. And now when I left, so I left Italy actually a bit before that in 2008. In 2007, we were building a dynamic area with you can do your IPSC or IDPA training. So yeah.
Okay, now moving on, obviously Australia's go to the polls in March, and there's Labor really holds a significant majority over the opposition, being the Liberal and National parties. However, as I've covered previously, that's not insurmountable. It may not happen this election for the coalition to take government, but it is actually possible because there's a lot of those seats that are very, very close to the line. And as you'd be aware, the COVID, the last election that you had was just straight after the COVID period where everybody was still wanting government to, they're just wanting to vote the current government back. Yeah, that's gone. And I'm really hoping that's going to come into play. But this is an opportunity for shooters to make a stand in WA. And that will also, I think, have implications for other elections in other states, if we can make a point here. As part of that, you'll be aware that there's a rally, a gun rally being held in Perth on the 8th of February. You told me just before we started that you were excited about that at first, but then you're disappointed by some commentary around that. Can you just explain what you mean?
So I always find so basically I saw the rally. I say that's a good chance for us to show up with our colored shirt and show what is really about. I mean, obviously I stick to my side of the thing. So I'm a hobbyist. I shoot handguns for sports, and all my guns are closed license, they are called. So I'm able to use them only in my club. I can't go shooting in the field or pest control or whatever. So I imagine ourselves over there with our colored shirt, just eating schnitzel or whatever, and talking and waiting for showing that we're not gun nuts, we're not violent people, we don't really care. We just want to stick to our sports and have our tools like you can have a motorbike, you can have a car, but you can't have handguns. I understand they are intrinsically dangerous. Yes, they are. That's a part of their charm they got. But and for us is they are our sports. And another thing I would like to say is that myself, I don't have any position in any of the association in WA. I'm a member of a gun club. That's it. I'm not in the committee. I I don't have any political affiliation. For me, it's really about to give this point. There is many of us that we really just want to do our sport. And I understand, so about the rally, I understand why someone is like, no, I better not to go. You never know if somebody show up with a right of to be an armchair, something like that, and goes to the media and do. But it's a risk. I think I would expect I'm happy to go through because we should really show that we are good people and there is nothing to be worried about us.
Yeah, look, don't worry. The people who do the wrong thing, they'll be dealt with on the day, not only by the police who will be there, but our own people. You know, shooters will not tolerate, shooters themselves will not tolerate, people from their own ranks who do the wrong thing. Good. We're pretty blunt about it. Because we're quite precious, because we understand, that is not the name that we want. Now, we've got no information to suggest any that's going to happen. We know of commentary that others, including the WA Firearm Community Alliance, has said that there's all these things that could happen, and that's false. What they've done, and this is not asking you to comment on this. This is me sort of making a bit of an editorial statement. Is that they have made it a competition between egos. For whatever reason, their concerns are inflated. The Shooters Union and I and others, we actually tried to work with these people a long time ago, and they basically just weren't interested in talking with us. And now they're coming out and just doing this stuff. There are no safety issues. We've had a lot of discussions with the police. Yeah, they're going to be there on the day, but we actually know what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. So, if people are going to start spreading stories about, they're going to have, be wanting shooters, when they turn up, that is false.
As a matter of fact, they send. We have been told from one of the association. They say we are not supporting this. And it's very confusing for us because really, honestly, I'm not, we have jobs. The other day you say something like life is busy. Life is busy. Yeah. I have a fly-in, fly-out job. I'm leaving for time. You come here, you just want to go to the range, release some steam and enjoy and laugh with your friends. So I'm not following all the stuff that is going on. And I'm happy that there are associations doing that for me. Say that. Why we can't just agree once on something? That's my point. Yeah.
This is something that we've tried, and as I said, it's they just decided they're not going to speak with anybody. They don't, they're not. It's not within their little circle, which is very disappointing. You actually said something just a minute ago, which mirrors something that I actually noted before we started recording, and that is, you said, we being shooters, we're confused.
Yeah,
you're confused about those messages that are coming out. And I think the point you've just made, the point that you really just want something done. You don't care about those little fights and things. It's not going to help anyone. It is about how do we make a stand with coming up to the election. And I think you also said that you're probably going to be going yourself anyway.
Well, that was my intention. I'm very curious to see what I feel it. I say I was very excited. If there was if it wasn't for this pushback, that you can read on the comments on the platform. Some people are very how would you say, opinionated about it, and we should really talk with the guy close to us in the office or on the job and explain them that it's not about having the ability of shooting. Is about sport. It's about hobbies. It's about being together. So sorry, I want to tell you this. So I come from a different culture. Yeah, it's very close. Australia is full of Italians, but so going to the range and talking with these guys and with the friends I've got there really gave me the possibility to understand the Australian culture, because it's genuine. It's there, and they show you, the banta things. We don't have banta in Italy, and then, some people come and say, but this guy is giving me bad times. You say, no, he's actually like you because he's banta with you. So this type of things is, you learn it by staying with the people. Yeah.
Yeah. I think just getting off this in a second, this particular aspect, if there's any member organisations of WAFCA who are interested in talking with the organisers about the rally to find out a little bit more, drop them an email. It'll drop me an email. I'll forward it on. It's a very simple solution to it. We talk. It's as simple. So I'm going to go into the rally now. I'm going to give another plug, and because I think it's important that as many shooters as possible actually are aware that it's there and they can simply roll up. So the rally is at 10:30 a.m. Saturday, the 8th of February, at the Supreme Court Gardens in Perth. And on the screen, there's a QR code and where they can actually sign up to get updates, so that if things change on us, if there's, and we'll also give more updates in terms as the rally approaches in terms of the speakers, etc. They basically just get on the QR code and they'll get the information they need. And the URL to sign up for that information is tinyurl.com/WA Gun Rally, and that'll be in the show notes to this episode. But look, it's not necessary to sign up to attend the rally. You can just roll up, and the more the merrier. And look, I think like other rallies that have been held in the past, where the same sort of things have been, we've gone through them, especially in '96. The message is there. Go to the rally and be heard. If you like this podcast, you can support the show by becoming a member of Politics Reloaded. Your support will help us get us interviews and information like this that shooters need to hear out to them. For more information, check out the show notes or go to politicsreloaded.com.
Yeah, still, as I say, I was very excited, and I don't understand why we can't just stay all on the side and work together. And to be honest, and I don't know, it seems like a lot of work has been done from whoever, reading what is happening now, because I've never been much involved, but I don't think having a rally is a bad thing. So it's actually a day by day work for me, and I always been, from when I reached to make my people, my friends, and the people I'm working with, they are not involved in firearm, to explain them that it's absolutely fine. They're just another hobbies, and then of course I'm talking for my side. There is all the aspect of the letters, the hunting, all of that side is huge. I understand that it's bigger than the clubs, but and actually, to be honest, I last week I came from a meeting in my club. So every club in WA is going to a procedure to re-get their ability to be a club. So it's a day by day challenge for the gun community to stay active and to be able to do our sports.
Yeah, and the language you're using, I think, reminds me of another point, that this isn't just about an activity you want to keep. This is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
This is what many people live for. And you set yourself up so, when your working life's over, you retire. What do you do when you retire? You can either sit in the lounge and watch the TV, or you can continue your shooting sport and be part of that culture going forward. It's a wonderful world. It really is.
It is. I'm telling you another thing that people underestimate. They don't really get. So because I work in and out, I have days free. So my club organize a shooting, a competition during the week, and it's called Master, and old people go there. And I say old. I shouldn't say old. Some of those guys is just on the paper. And for them, is really a social thing, because we end up, you got Vietnam vet being there talking to you about the experience they have, and while going through the course of fire, because there is a lot of downtime in IPSC while somebody is running the stage. You stay back, and these guys, they, you can see is one of their social thing they do, is go there with the range, talk with a bunch of guys and shooting guns. So it's really.
And for the people who aren't involved in shooting or involved in club level comps, I mean, you've got other social things that come into. You've got the Christmas, shoot, you get your breakup. I know a club that I'm a member of, used to have card nights and things like that.
Well, we definitely do a couple of barbecue. We do the dinner, the Christmas presentation. We do the Christmas in July. So the club is active and is really a social thing at this stage. Then don't get me wrong, we got very high how do you say competitive people who goes up even internationally wise. They do brilliant stuff. I think last World Cup was a guy from the East that won the Open Division Master. So that you mean you are a world champion? I mean, I shot with world champion, a lady a few years ago, and these people are world class shooter, and they can do that with the limitation we have. There are other stuff that are quite funny in IPSC due to regulation, like the fact that we can't use 40 cal, and that's challenging for some of the gun. They have to reach a certain power, so instead of using 40 cal, they use another caliber, but they have to push it, and it's a bottleneck caliber, so it's hard to reload, and a lot of problems that we shouldn't have. Really doesn't change anything. So.
It's just good to bring out the social side of shooting as well, because it's often understated by shooters. Yep. Okay, so Giuseppe Mottalini, so thank you so much for your time today. It's been greatly appreciated.
No worries. Thank you to you.
Thank you. See you later. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Gun News Australia. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and that you're on our email list. And don't forget to check the episode notes, because that's where you'll find out how to support the show. We'll see you in the next episode of Gun News Australia, brought to you by Politics Reloaded.